You're listening to For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach.
Okay, Britt. We are coming at you live from Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
Utes. Go Utes.
No.
Never go Utes, but always go Browns. How are you, Britt?
I'm doing well.
We got Britt here on the pod, guys. It's nice here in Utah. We like it.
It's pretty.
It's pretty great. We got Britt here with us. Britt, how's morale? So I heard someone ask it the other day, and I heard that was I thought that was
I feel
really
like
funny.
I'm in an HR meeting.
How's morale? How are things?
The morale is high. We're doing good. We just came off a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We got good things going on the work front.
Yep.
Springtime.
Yep.
Blossoming buds.
This is facts. Also, we have Poppy here with us.
Sorry about the bone crunching.
We have a full-on bone-crunching dog. So if you hear that in the background, enjoy some of that ASMR.
Some canines grinding.
It really smells interesting in here with the bone. What kind of bone is that?
Hickory smoked rib.
You could smell that rib. That's for damn sure. All right, Britt, we're here. We're doing a sisters epi. We are gonna answer some questions that you guys have for us, and BS, right?
Yeah, let's shoot the shit.
Shoot the shit. We're one IPA in, 1.5 IPA in, enjoying ourselves.
It's a mango. It's a local Utah.
Yeah, we had to.
Wasatch Brewery. Shout out.
Wasatch, which is a forest around here, right?
We have the national forest, but the Wasatch Front is actually the mountain range that you will see if you walked out my front door.
Oh, really?
It's the Wasatch Valley.
I actually never knew that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things.
I guess I never really asked either.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of came about this information from being on the residential side of Salt Lake City.
Good, Michelle.
Sorry if you don't get 90% of the things.
Okay, yeah. Disclaimer now, guys. We will be saying inside jokes from start to finish of this episode. Keep up, but you won't.
But you won't. But you'll understand our humor.
You will understand, which is good. Like I said, I posted this on Instagram. I was like, we could literally quote Emperor's New Groove from start to finish. If we did like a movie review, I thought that would have been funny, but we literally just watched Emperor's New Groove on
vacation, and Joe shut us down. He had
he called us out.
Yeah. He was like, I'll agree to watch it, but they have to be quiet the whole time.
We're like, okay. Buzz Killington.
Sit on other sides of the room. But then I had something to add that none of them had ever noticed in the movie.
Good trivia. Good triv.
Yeah. So when Yzma, the villain of the movie, if you've never seen it, watch it. It's one of the funniest movies Disney has ever produced. The humor is unmatched.
I mean, the comedy is top tier.
Top tier. It's amazing. But a little behind the scenes plot, whatever. I'll catch you up. Yzma turns the emperor into a llama. A llama.
He's supposed to be dead.
Here we go. So they poison him over a dinner, and the poison gets mixed up of the drinks. So the poisoners don't know which cup has the poison for the poisonee. So they end up throwing it into a plant.
Like tossing it, like I'm not going to drink it. They've mixed all the poison in all the drinks, so she pours it out next to it in a plant.
She pretends to take a sip, and then she goes to the side. And the plant is a cactus. So in the next scene, when they pan back to Yzma, the plant is a llama. And no one caught this ever watching this movie. So I pointed it out. I felt like nervous.
Yeah, should I interject at this point?
But I was like, hey, anyone notice that plant over there? It's a llama.
And they were like, no way, I never noticed that. I was going to say it too, because I obviously know. And I was like, I'll keep my mouth shut.
But there's a tidbit for you. There are benefits to watching these movies with us.
Yeah, and it's not just us quoting. And we held back. There were times where we did have to.
I didn't point out the fingers pointing at the wall.
Yeah, we did later, and they were like, no way. And we're like, yeah, well, you shut us down before we could even get...
I basically had a damn muzzle on it.
Yeah, it was really hard, too. I will say that.
I don't know.
But it was good. Britt was on the vacation with us. Obviously, I did a recap last week if you guys tuned in. But overall, morale was high. Morale was really high for the Charleston trip. That's for sure.
For sure.
It was good though. Did you have a good time, Britt?
A blast. I mean, I've been telling everyone, I of course work for corporate America, and so I came back and they're like, "How was vacation?" You know, and I was just like, everyone was on the same level at all times, and in a house of 10 people, that is so important. You know, like, and there was no, I don't want to say judgment, because like this crew would not have judgment passed towards each other, but like people did their own thing for certain amounts of time. You know, like someone wanted to read, someone wanted to have quiet time. Touristy things.
It was welcomed.
Yeah.
It was welcomed and honored. You know, it was just like, all right, we'll meet back up.
Your vacation too, you know?
I think that's the understood line,
Bottom
I think.
line, yeah.
Because it was like everyone could just do whatever they wanted. But we all knew around 5 p.m. we were linking back up and we had games and
Sturge
drinks.
is going.
Sturge. That's another thing I guess I forgot to say. There's so, like I said, when you go on vacation, there's just so many jokes that you don't think people will think, other people that you tell are going to think it's funny. But I don't know if you guys are hip to these, but White Claw Surge. So it's basically what we millennials know as Bud Light Platinums, BLPs. It's basically more alcohol jammed into these already made drinks. They're just a higher percentage of alcohol. So White Claw came out with Surge.
But for some reason we
call them Sturges.
We're sturgeon.
We were sturgeon. So that
Honestly,
was.
I'll say I never drank one.
Me either. Drinked. You said. I never drank one.
I never drank any.
We didn't. We did not. We didn't want to be sturged up. That's for sure.
No, I get alcohol anxiety, like pre-alcohol anxiety.
So I'm learning this too as I'm getting older. Britt and I literally, we've described this before, but we literally are the same person. But our makeup, obviously we're from the same two parents, but like everything about us is the same, even when it comes to alcohol. We were talking about this. She's like, I swear I can never get drunk again. Because on vacation, we barely got drunk. We like drank a lot and put down a lot of alcohol, but never once felt like a good buzz or felt like out of your mind, barely, kind of fun.
Barely at the tipping point.
But I said to her, I was like, we always knew when we were drinking, or like we never knew. What did I say to you?
We couldn't be in it for the long haul. We couldn't know we had a long drinking time ahead of us.
Yeah. So when you know that like you're starting at 5 and you guys know you guys are going out, that you have to like have to be fine by midnight, you know that the long haul is ahead of you.
Yeah.
But when you don't know and you're just drinking happy hour with friends and it just kind of happened, the drunk happens upon you.
Yeah.
The best drunk. That's how you get drunk.
Agreed.
You can't be thinking about it. It's the alcohol anxiety.
It is.
It's too much.
It's a different kind of AA for you.
It is. It's a different kind of AA. Alcohol anxiety. If you know it, you know, I guess. Pull up if you've ever dealt with that kind of thing, because
if you've had a real hangover, you'll know.
But that's okay. Thank you. That's, I guess, the underlying is, the hangover is not really worth it.
Agreed. Especially on
vacation. I think we all know that. Especially on vacation, because
I'd be damned if I woke up in South Carolina with a hangover.
No.
Which I never did, thank God.
I know. I think it's beer is the kiss of death for my hangovers. I've talked about this before, too. It's like, it sucks.
Oh, yeah, we did the tequila sodies.
Tequila sodies will keep you high and dry. I don't know what I meant by that, but it will keep you with no hangovers. I've said this many times. Tequila is not an upper, but you can think of it as one. I said that on the pod. I was like, tequila's an upper, and everyone
came at you.
All right, really.
Scientists, we get it.
I mean, it is. The agave in it will get you to a good place. Let's just say that. All right, Britt. I wanted to save this for them. I wanted to save this for you because Joe and I watched the Avengers Endgame. Have you seen?
Ooh, you know what? So, no, I have not seen Endgame yet. I wanted to. So I'm a big binger on the Netflix TV series, whatever, any platform you want to go on. Big movie television girl.
Gal.
So I was like, okay, this is a big thing in today's world. Like maybe I should get hip with Marvel. Mm-hmm. And so I reached out to a friend and I said, okay, I don't want to watch every single one. Like Ant-Man didn't really intrigue me, you know. So I'm
Shout out
like,
Paul Rudd though.
yeah, love him. But I don't know, it's just not my
Like,
thing.
what do I need to
Yes,
watch
yeah. So I'm like,
to
give
understand
me,
enough?
and his answer was, you need to watch them all. And I said, okay. Again, I'll ask the same question. Give me the top 10. So I got to Infinity Wars.
Wait. Okay.
No?
Yeah, which one am I talking
No,
about?
I don't know. It was a Captain America one. He's going to come at me for this. Sorry, Ashton. But I think it was Captain America Infinity War.
Captain American.
Hey, you'll get to know my swollen tongue. Anyway,
They already know. They know the story of the swollen tongue. You'll hear it.
that's right. Whatever. So I watched that one, and that's where I stopped. And I'm pretty sure I only had like 2 or 3 more.
So wait,
on
what
his
happened in
list.
Infinity War?
You know, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I think I had to go back and restart it, I never finished.
Okay. I'm just gonna
But it's
give
good.
you. I have
But
to
hey,
spoil
let me hear
alert.
about-
I
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
fine with
spoil alert it.
I wasn't attached.
But you. Okay, Joe was in an Avengers binge. Let's call it that. He really wanted to zone in, and he's like, I think you'll like this. I think you'll like this. And I like Iron Man. I think I watched that. I've never watched the Avengers movies, but I was like, okay, now that you got me, I'm kind of watching while I'm
Captain America Civil War was what it was called. I'm not talking about Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
Correction,
Okay. Yeah.
Mr.
So
Burke.
Captain America's movie, solely based on Captain America.
The second one.
Okay, got
Yes.
it. Good movie.
Okay, continue on.
And so, long story short, he gets me hooked into this movie, and I'm like, this is the newer one that just came out, the I Love You 3000. And I know nothing about. I know everyone's kind of backstory. He kind of gave me a gist, and I'm watching it, and now I'm hooked. Now I'm stressed, and I'm spoiler alerting it at the end.
That was one word.
Spoiler alerting it. Iron Man dies, and when I tell you,
Straight up,
he like
Straight up
sacrificed. It was
RIP.
such a cool. Also, I love and hate
He'd be the
watching
guy to do
movies
it.
with Joe. But there's this moment where like he's like, this is where the theater was going crazy, and I like to know that
Hey.
stuff because
not crazier than Harry Potter fans. I'll tell you that.
I believe that. But he was like, and this is when everyone freaked out, and all of a sudden, Thor gets knocked out by Thanos, and Thanos is the big guy they're trying to defeat. Thor's down bad, and all of a sudden, Captain America's like, watch us. This is where everything just gets crazy, and then all of a sudden. Thor's hammers got thrown out of his hands, and all of a sudden it starts rattling.
Yes,
and then
I've
Captain America comes
I've
up
seen
from
this.
the ashes, grabs Thor's hammer, and then it's just like this really big moment. And Joe's like, because he's right, or is it righteous or worthy? He's worthy.
Okay.
Like only people who are worthy enough can use Thor's hammer, and it was
can
this.
pick it up because it's heavy to
Yes,
everyone else.
yep.
It's like the
And
Sword
he
and
was
Stone.
like, bing. I was like, I low-key got goosebumps.
I have
I'm
seen
like, why am I into this?
I have seen TikToks where they show that scene, and I don't know if
Avengers
it's like a
assemble.
reaction thing. Yeah.
Dope. Okay.
No, I'd get it. I'd be down with that.
Yes. And I like to know, like, what, okay, like, I'm not full-on Marvel nerd, but the nerds, when they're going crazy,
Hey.
I want to know why. I want an in, you know?
Okay.
So, anyways, Iron Man dies, and when I tell you I was down bad, I'm telling you,
You were upset?
I was crying.
You were in
Okay,
tears.
so I had the tears, and I of course did what we do in our family. When you're crying, you have to tell people that you're crying. And I was like, I'm
announce it.
crying. And Joe's like, I know, Jess. Like, he's like, I just didn't have a connection with Iron Man. I know you did. I was like, okay. And then they cut to his funeral. I knew that he died. He made a sacrifice. He did this 1 in 7 million chance thing, and
Is that a known statistic?
yeah,
Okay.
in the movie.
Watch the movie.
Watch the movie. And then they cut to his funeral scene, and I like the tears are just like still coming, like just like dripping down. And then all of a sudden, I just like I start weeping. I like my hands were in my head, and I'm like, oh, I was so embarrassed
Yes.
for I don't know what reason.
Mourning a character is different type of grief.
It was okay. I was like really down bad, and Joe's like, I know, Jess, like, I know. And I was like, you don't know. I'm like, I'm really upset. And I've never really, I'll cry like teary in a movie, but like, I'm talking hands and head sob fest. I was down fucking bad. But all in all, guys, watch it. I'm sure you guys have. It's so popular. I just was like late to the game.
But disclaimer, to have this kind of effect, you probably have to invest some time in the previous films.
Yeah, I had a Joe who just like Cliff Notes it for me, I guess.
Did you watched Iron Man though?
But I watched Iron Man.
That's
I know enough about. I mean, we've all watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Not Marvel.
But, okay,
but
also
hey, here,
that's what had me.
Come on.
That's what had me.
We're gonna have some people coming at you for that. You just went from Marvel to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is in Marvel.
Come at me then.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's in the Avengers.
No.
He's an Avenger. Yeah. So the new ones are with Tom Holland. Also, Tom Holland's so Spider-Man and Iron Man's relationship in the Avengers, if you know, you know, had me. I just couldn't handle. It was
literally anyone who listens to this from Belfair, shout out on the autism crew. They're gonna be coming at me because they're like, you clearly didn't listen to our client talk.
Oh, who was a big Spidey guy?
Hey, HIPAA's a thing, so you know.
Oh, we can give initials?
An SM for you.
Oh. Shout out to the autism crew just one time for Britt and I because we put in work. Actually still putting in work for me, but we were just talking about that. Just what a wild time. What a wild time.
I truly believe it should be a requirement made from the U.S. government that everyone has to work with kids with autism.
Do a week.
Do a week.
Really
Put
do
in
a
the
week.
Time. You'll learn so much.
And you'll have a blast.
Literally
Let's keep it real. You'll have
yourself.
you will laugh so hard,
Yeah.
first off.
Connected to these people for life. And I'm talking about the employees, like my coworkers.
I mean, we
For
would
life.
die for each other.
Yeah.
We said that. I mean, you really do. You go at bat. I mean, when people are swinging at you, y'all help each other out.
That's right.
It's true.
Call me Iron Man making the 1 in 7 million sacrifice.
Yeah. Facts. That is so good and you've never even seen it. So
Never.
love that.
All right, Pete. Sorry to bring up some.
Yeah,
history for you, Jess.
don't bring it up because I am still grieving. Okay. I forgot where I was going with
Yeah.
that.
Why were you saving that for me?
What?
That story.
Just I wanted to
You wanted
tell
to tell me
my
that you were
listeners
weeping.
that I was I am an Avengers girl now and I'm still upset. I don't know. I've just never been moved. I've never been moved.
I'm gonna stop you right there because you're an Avenger girl, but you're not a Harry Potter girl.
We all know the curse. We know the curse.
and it's not the curse of the.
You
child.
knew it. I told you when it happened, and you were like,
I was
you
there.
believed me. You were like,
No, I gave up because I was like, this. She's adamant.
You know, I get. It's the Virgo in me.
Okay, moving on.
Okay. I forget where I was gonna touch on more autism stuff, but another thing I want to bring up to you because this is a hot take, and it's school subjects, stubbies, school subjects, and their respected colors.
Ooh.
And this is a hot take I've seen, and I
Yeah,
just
let's
know
get it.
you would love this, so I saved it for you.
I like this a lot.
And there's only right answers. Okay, absolutely. I will not be hearing any other BS. And I
Absolutely.
think you and I are
Probably aligned.
Yeah.
Pretty significant.
okay. So we are gonna go subject for subject.
Are
and
we gonna
then-
like do a 1, 2, 3? say
Yeah,
it?
on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go, and then we'll explain why. Okay, we are starting first and foremost with science, of course.
Okay.
On the count of 3,
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
Say it.
color.
Like, yeah.
1, 2, 3, green. I love this. I knew I saved this for a fucking reason. Green slime.
Slime.
Green. I think.
Slime. It's a slime.
I
It's
think
Nickelodeon
beakers,
in me.
Beakers.
Bowling pickers.
You already know. There's no convincing me
No,
otherwise.
it's no other color but green.
Yeah, and on Nickelodeon alone.
And
I rest my
yeah,
case.
that's what I said.
Even though Nickelodeon is orange, but
The slime is green. If you
Yeah.
grew up in the 90s, you know
slime
Nickelodeon
is green, and there's
is half and half. 50% orange, 50% green.
yes. Thank you. Come again. Math.
Hold on. Okay. Ooh, I'm between two.
Okay, I know.
You
I
know. Of course you
but
know.
but really know.
Okay, I got it.
I hope we got this one because this could be tough. On the count of 3, say your color. 1, 2, 3, blue.
Red.
Calculators are blue.
See, and I said that blue was the one I was torn between.
I knew.
It's
I
red
knew.
or blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's red or blue.
And
Very primary.
Yeah,
Math is a core subject. I mean, these all are probably.
they are.
But
100% are. But it's so funny because do you remember, excuse me.
Hello.
Do you remember your teachers assigning our colors, or when were we allowed to choose our own colors? High school? Because I felt like all through elementary and middle school.
What are we choosing color? Like the cover we put on our book? Or
Yeah, like I think our teachers, our like homeroom teacher was like, these are your colors for each of your subjects.
And we all had autism.
Yeah, that's facts.
But what I'm picturing when I see this is like laminated subject cards, like on a whiteboard. You know?
Yeah.
Like they're just white letters with a color behind them, and they're like this rounded rectangle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're like math, science, and then they had like the time of day that would be happening.
Yeah, our teachers
This
were
is
like
autism 101.
Yeah.
This is called the schedule.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
a true sketch. Okay, I just wanted to know if you remembered your teachers
I
picking for you, or when were you allowed to pick yourself? Because high school for us, it was a free for all.
I think that's
Where
it.
these colors absolutely came to be for most people. Okay, we're going language arts.
Oh, yeah. I got this.
I think we're gonna go different on this.
Okay.
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, red.
Yellow. Close. Kind of same family.
Red. First off, language arts, the scarlet letter is red. That is red. And that is my only
logic thinking.
that's my only argument.
That's great.
That's all I have for that. It could have gone both ways. I hear you out, but that obviously leaves history for me being
1, 2, 3.
yellow. Ew, brown's never a color. They're the primary colors, and that's it.
I didn't know that we had something to stick to.
That's funny because
I don't know. Brown paper bags on your book in history class. I don't know.
Okay, I hear
love
you, but I
history,
feel
so I'm
like you had a neutral.
I need it to be gritty.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that maps kind of look brown.
Yeah.
But I have a yellow tint to the map. I see
History-
History Channel is
Brown
yellow.
and yellow.
The logo is yellow.
I'm thinking of UPS out here.
Yes.
But I'm like history, like holding the dirt in your hands. Like that shit's brown.
Okay, I hear you on that. I'll give you dirt for history. Dirt, brown.
I don't know. History's brown to me.
Okay. But will you accept yellow? Will you accept?
Oh, I accept all these.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
But also, if you try to mix those up without a reasoning, I won't be hearing it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear no purple.
I had purple for language arts at one point, but it just didn't
Ooh,
feel
it
right.
crossed my mind.
It didn't feel right. So we're going to get into some questions you guys asked about sister stuff, family stuff, Ciceroles. I guess we could start off. We did have our own language.
Oh, let's get into it.
Britt and I had our own language. Michelle was in on it for shows. Straight up makes no sense. Only makes sense to us.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea how to describe it, how it came about. Was it around Emperor's New Groove time era, if we're talking about when things came to be?
Probably, because I think it all developed from the divorce, which this could be trauma rooted if we go back at it.
Hey, that's facts.
It could, I don't know.
I'd say we clung to comedy.
We did.
In the divorce era.
For absolute choice.
Comedy and movies. The Mummy. Yes. I mean, that is, I don't know if I'll ever watch it again.
I don't know if these are good coping movies, but here
By no means, but it got us through.
100%.
And Kingdom Hearts. Can't forget, Britt.
Ooh, the old PS2.
Can't forget, and DDR.
Yeah.
I know there's DDR people out there.
Man, put me on that mat. I'll be two-stepping.
Two-stepping, four-stepping. Yeah, that's what we did. We clung to comedy. We clung, yeah, I don't know. I think our language was before that because I remember it being.
It was kind of gymnastics time.
Oh.
Glockenspiel.
Yeah. We can't even get into that.
I know. It's going to make absolute no sense. But okay, so in our later adult years, more recent times, we developed a adaptation of the language where, and we've described this before, how we call Joe Jizz.
Jizzo, yeah.
Jizzo.
Or like
adding
a beer is a brazier. Beanbag is brazine bag.
Bag.
Yeah, And a bra is 100%
A brassiere.
a brassiere.
Well, that's Caitlin Lavelle.
Yeah, or a brassiere. No, it's a brassiere for sure.
It's a brassiere. Caitlin always called bras brassieres.
Why are we doing all B's?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Hey, because that's easy off the top of the head. Yeah. Anyways, we had our own language. I will give you the worst one that still comes up in day-to-day life.
It's absolutely, this is his name.
How did you know that's what I was gonna
Because
say?
it's the one we use the most.
Because it's so embarrassing. I almost get secondhand embarrassment thinking about me saying it in the public eye. But
this is why Joe will never say it, because he has
true
embarrassment.
So my dad, we named as, guys, bear with me here, Duder Cobs. That sounds so fucked up, but when I say it to anyone else, I'm like, Cobs. It's just straight.
It's Cobs.
We eliminated to just Cobs. Guys, no rhyme or reason, so don't ask me how we got there.
No clue how this developed.
I mean, we could really go back, but we won't. But that's probably our weirdest one that we still use.
So,
does Dad know that he's Duder Cobs?
No.
Will he ever? No. But we do, and that's all that matters.
And if he did, he'd have an awkward laugh and change the subject.
He had no, yeah. He'd be like, I don't know how to
let's
respond
develop
to this.
on that just to cover the language.
Sure.
If we were going to go into all family roles, it was Duder Cobs.
Mom is
Moomeyer.
I hate
Can
that.
tell you. And sisters are
Cicerol. And if you don't get it, mind your business. Okay. If you get it,
if you want to give it a go,
we
can be
can
bilingual out here.
Yeah, we could teach you. We could teach you the lingo.
That's pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah. And like we will still slip it in when we can through like text or.
And you can imagine how these are spelled.
The fact I knew Joe was the one when I said Cobs to him, and he was like,
didn't miss a beat.
He was just like, he didn't think anything of it, you know. He's like, that checks out for you, Jess. But I sometimes try to make him say it, and he's like, no, I don't know how. He's like, I'm embarrassed because I don't know how to say it. He says like Cobs or something.
Yeah, it's a weird AU.
If you don't know Cobs, get the hell out.
But just say, it's fun to say. Cobs.
Cobs, yeah. We love you, Cobs. Shout out Cobs. Okay, let's get into some questions. I think stories will come up. That's kind of what I wanted to share with this episode with Britt, is we do have a lot of funny stories from our childhood, and I think people would get enjoyment out of, because I like hearing people's sister or family stories. So hopefully those will come up through the questions. So Britt, be cued in for some memories. Let's start off pretty easy. Any tips about long distance sister relationships?
Easy?
I don't know. Britt and I have always been close, but like it's weird from like seeing each other all the time to like having to do phone calls. And I know we've talked on the pod about me hating talking on the phone.
We're not a phone call family in general.
We're really not. But I mean, we text all the time. That's kind of how we do. Send each other TikToks. We'll text. But also, if you think about it, like Britt's my go-to person for everything. So it's like when I'm thinking of something or something new is coming up, it's like she's already in the know.
Yeah.
At first, it was weird because it was like you were like, "Let's FaceTime," and I'm like, "I don't even know what that."
Yeah, she was.
What that looks like.
I can't be bothered with it.
Yeah, it was hard, but I was like, I want to see her. You know, I don't know what it is about just like FaceTime or phone calls that I feel like I need to exude a lot of energy for. But after I'm done, we've sat on the phone for like 3-4 hours.
Right. When it does happen,
well, I think that's
it's extensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's typically catching at the right time. We're like, we'll text the little things, but then if Joe's out for the evening or something, like Jess and I will talk for 4 hours straight on FaceTime. And I would say it's probably 40% talking and 60% just like being carried around as that person's walking through the house.
Yeah, which is nice though, because I feel like
I mean that's how you would be if you were spending an evening with someone. But how I think of this is kind of interesting, because my moving away situation I think is different from a lot of people that move out of state. Whereas I never not have a trip home planned. So like we always know the next time we're going to be together.
Yeah.
It's if it's not already planned, it's insinuated. Like there's a holiday coming up or a family event, a wedding, a baby, whatever it is. So I think
that's
knowing that, it kind of like alleviates the need to like
catch up.
Yeah.
Because like when they come home, it's like no no
and
beats
from there
are skipped.
it's TikTok vids and funny stuff and
Just
like
like
in
Joe's
text.
stories
Yeah,
or
Joe's stories.
or anything.
Yeah.
That's a good point because we always know that we're going to see each other
Right.
and catch up regardless. But until then, it's like the stuff leading up to
Yeah.
and planning for
Right.
the next time we see each other. That's a good point.
100%.
But I guess any tips, that's all you have is
Yeah.
FaceTime and texting and through the phone.
I think before, if you can, before anyone moves, I think knowing your relationship and knowing what the other person is going to be able to put in as far as phone calls. Like, I know Jess isn't a phone person and I'm not either, but like every once in a while you crave to like see their face and hear their voice. So like, number one, I have a podcast where I can hear Jess's voice every week. So that's kind of cool. It like supplements a little bit, but also knowing you're not going to get them every other day if they're not that type of person. And so I just think knowing and understanding that, like having realistic I don't know.
Expectations.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Of what that's going to look like if you choose to move away and vice versa.
That's good. That's good. It's good from your point of view.
Mic drop.
Let's get into it. Abusal. And I say that's a weird whatever. That's a weird nickname, but I say abusal because of the content of the next question, and it goes into biggest sister fight stories.
Okay.
I flew into Salt Lake yesterday, and we were kind of going over the questions you guys asked, and this is one of them. Like, what are our biggest fight stories? And we kind of came to the agreement that it's all around clothes.
Yeah.
And you guys have seen the TikToks.
Can't stand when someone borrows or wears something of the other without permission.
Yeah. And it's a rule. It's a rule in all the rule books that if you haven't worn it, that's a hard no.
Yes. You are not allowed to borrow clothing without permission if that person has not already worn it.
You can't borrow clothes without permission, period.
Okay.
And obviously, definitely not before you've ever worn it. That is a sin.
You're going straight to jail.
Straight to jail
Straight to jail.
if you're doing something like that. That really is it. And we did talk about too, like if we went through weird phases in life where this other sister had to check that person. We've done that. But where you can feel like distanced.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like something is pulling you away from your family or your relationship with your family.
Or just how you understand that person as a human. So like, the early 20s and the 20s in general is just a really weird, I think it's
transition.
It's worse than your teenage years. So like, you go through these like figuring out who you are. And so I think there was a lot of points where it was like, I think I know you best. And I think I can say like, I don't think that's you.
Yeah, I don't think this is you.
Yeah, I remember a quote specifically, and you'll probably know what I'm going to say. But like, if it doesn't taste good coming out of your mouth, like it's not you. And I think we all know those sentiments where you're mimicking someone or
it's just the people you're surrounding yourself with.
You pick up on
you just pick up on lingo. You pick up on mannerisms or any of that. And I think I was doing that, and everyone's like, "Whoa, this feels like, weird for you."
Who are you?
But it's like I'm asking myself the same question. I'm like,
totally.
I don't know. I think I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I would say that that age when you're out of college and you're finding your career, and then you're meeting new people within your career, and then like just figuring that out because you're so used to partying, so you're like, I'm still in a party phase, but you're also like, when does this slow down? So like partying's still heavy. That's a whole weird. You're just like not. It's so funny when you think you have it figured out, and then now being older, it's looking back, it's like that was fun, but that's so crazy, or like that was such a wild, pivotal time. It was weird.
Yeah. So as far as fights where we felt pure rage at each other, it was because you are my shoes, and I didn't want you to.
I mean, if we think back, and that's the thing, we both hate conflict, so we will definitely sit on something for a long time before we ever would bring it to the person's face, which is something we're both working on, I think. But other than that, I've never felt like absolute pissed offness.
No.
Unless it was like, you're stealing my stuff.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, we did kind of touch base that you used to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I hope you didn't bring it up.
Abusal.
I hate this.
That was
I
her.
absolutely hate it.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bring it up, but I was the victim.
It's okay. I mean, it's what happened happened.
you really don't want to talk about it.
No, I really don't like it because I don't recognize myself.
Oh,
truly.
But it was weird. I mean, it was like hormones or something.
Let's just go back real quick.
Yeah.
Abusal is not the nickname because of this.
No, it's not. It's not. You're right. It's not.
Don't be calling anyone on me.
No, it's not. It literally was just like sisters being sisters and like.
It's a mutual friend, someone Jess grew up with. And we had the same
nickname.
name.
You're on the nickname. Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
The nickname has nothing to do with the story, but okay. I thought it was funny to tie it too. But I don't know. Britt would just get like enraged, and she just needed to take it out on someone. And obviously, it's gonna be me. And she really would just like beat the shit out of me.
I think this was middle child problems.
Interesting.
I think it was like no attention.
I would love for you to take it up in therapy. And,
I know. Well,
to be like, what was going on? Did you not feel like you had enough attention?
I think that's what it was, but I felt like I needed control. No, I'm not trying to get sympathy on this because I think it was the villain in this case.
You were 100% the villain. You kicked my ass.
I think I needed to get a reaction out of someone.
But that's all you wanted.
Yeah.
Because once I did the reaction,
then I was completely remorseful.
Oh, you were like
flip of a switch.
Yeah. How weird.
It was very bizarre. I would love.
It was a control thing. It's not that deep if you think about it. It's not. So don't beat yourself too much. No, but I don't
like that. Like I would spend time on this shit.
Yeah. I mean, it went on for long. Like I didn't just immediately cry, even though I feel like I knew that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
But you were like, I'll worsen it. Yeah. You're like, if I can't get her to cry now, I'll make it worse.
And she did. That was what we're getting at. It's like I did these things until she broke down.
Yeah. And then she's like, okay, I'm really sorry.
I would hug her and be like, don't tell mom, don't tell mom.
That's the thing. Don't tell mom.
But so it was a weird thing of like, I wanted to get the reaction, but then I also wanted to be the comfort. So maybe that's how I groomed you into loving me.
And that's where we are now. It's fine. It's really not that deep. I'm sure a lot of other people.
Is genuine.
Yeah, it is, and I feel that. So I'm not too fucked up from Britt. So you came out scot-free. Okay. Yeah, those are fight stories. We got along in childhood. Same with I guess like older sister too, like Kristen.
I was gonna say, well, let's go into like actual fights. Like Kristen and I would fight.
But wasn't it about like taking you to tanning?
Yeah, one time she didn't take me to tanning, but I would get violent.
Britt was very violent, I guess.
Hey, middle children, rise up. Tell me about it.
Yeah, but we are the very stereotypical first, second, third
middle child. Youngest,
yeah, Kristen is very type A, planner through and through. She's had her life mapped out. Achievements. She's the scholar of the group.
Yeah.
Britt is quiet, super smart, and very middle child.
Yeah, what are middle? I don't know.
What are else our middle besides like quiet and I don't know. You're an intellect.
I feel like middle children are readers. Maybe someone can
just misunderstood. You're low-key misunderstood.
Yeah.
I think what people really think about you and what I know of you are two different things.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think of me?
What do you think of Britt? I think a lot of people would have very nice things to say about you, Britt. But
I don't think it's anything bad.
Misunderstood is not a bad thing. I just think like you're hard to read. You're like a mystery. Like And you know me, we all know if you've been listening to the pod.
Youngest,
yeah, and loud, baby. Whatever, extrovert, somewhat.
I get it.
But yeah, I don't know. We've never. There's.
You want to hear something funny? Here's a funny fight story.
Brush with this. Already said it.
Oh,
on the pod.
Sorry. Okay, brush with this. It was a piece of silly buddy.
It was very funny. Yeah. So Kristen, if you're listening and you think of anything that we missed, any monumental time where we disagreed, let us know. Rise up. Tap in.
Back to the therapy thing. The only time I felt betrayed by one of my sisters.
Oh.
And I'm not throwing her under the bus. I think this is just an interesting thing. Kristen one time pretended to be me and called a therapist signing up for therapy. And this was
let's unpack that. This was
pre-mental health on the forefront America.
Britt was in high school.
No, I was in college.
Oh, you were in college. So
first or second year.
So
09,
maybe.
Probably.
So think about that, guys. That's not.
Yeah,
that's
13
not
years
far
ago.
enough. Yeah, that's not
wild.
Anyways, Kristen called, but I'll tell you from the third child perspective, I didn't know that was going to happen, or maybe I did. I'm not really sure, but Kristen was looking out for your best interest.
Totally.
Britt, you were very depressed.
I was.
You were in a really bad place.
Yeah.
And I think we all were just like, we just want to help. And Kristen, you know, being firstborn, just took the initiative to be like, I think I know what's best. I'm going to do this for her.
Yeah.
And
that was a big part of me. Like and people still relate to this. Like I hate making appointments. Like I hate calling my hairdresser to say.
I think Kristen knew it was a risk.
Yeah.
She knew it could go one of two ways. And obviously it went south. And Britt was like, you should never do that for me again. Like,
and it was the way that it was presented to me. It was the therapist then calling me because she said like, hey, this is my phone number. I'm Britt, you know? And so I got a call from a therapist saying, it was great to talk to you. So I just felt like, you know, like not.
Who are you to be my voice?
Yeah.
Right?
You know, like.
Sure.
It's one thing to say here, I'm just going to schedule an appointment. It's another thing to pretend to be me, you know?
Right.
And like, I don't know what was discussed or like.
Do you remember anyone sitting you down before that being like, hey, what's going on?
I don't really know.
Like, did anyone like check in or like?
Could be. I don't know that I remember anything specific. Or,
yeah.
Like,
I was just wondering, like, I wonder if we tried to mention. Someone
sure
tried
Kristen
to mention.
Did. I know for a fact that she did. But I think it was me saying like, oh no, like, and this is when therapy was like, something's wrong if you go to therapy, you know, and we don't view it that way anymore.
Yeah. Well, we're here pro therapy now.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, 100% ready for therapy. So I am reading through. A lot of people ask kind of similar questions about, have you always been close? When did you become close? Did you always get along? How does your sister go from being annoying to being like a close friend? And let's talk about that with all three of us.
Sure. I
think, because a lot of people can say like Britt and I have always been close, but that's not always true.
It's not the case at all.
No, it was Britt and Kristen. Kristen's the oldest. It was always Britt and Kristen. They did everything together. I was the third, the oddball out.
Yeah.
For a while.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but Jess and I's age gap is almost twice as large, I don't know, as Kristen and I. So Kristen and I are like 20 months. That's a lie. 20?
How far? I thought everyone was the same.
She's January of 87 and I'm October of 88. So a year and 9 months.
Oh.
And Jess and I are almost 3 years.
Literally, I've been saying my entire life, Britt, that we're all 3 years apart. Dead ass. Ask Joe. He probably is shocked by this.
He's probably like,
he's never.
Kristen, how old are you?
He's never done the math, and he knows how old everyone is.
It makes sense because we're both 2 years in grade school.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that made us even.
Even
There's
Steven.
another one.
Even Steven.
Started up. Even Steven. But yeah, it was 2 years in school every time. So like.
Okay.
Kristen and I were in high school together, and Jess and I were in high school together. So I had an interesting perspective on that.
What do you mean?
Just that I got to be in high school with both of you. I think that's just a really defining time in adolescence.
Yeah.
But
like you were catching rides with Kusk at first, and then you were taking me, and then Britt got into some adolescent trubs, and we were catching rides. We would wait in the cafeteria and be like, "Can you take us home? Can you take us home? Can you take us home?"
We were out there just risking it all.
We just used any friend we had to be like, "Hey." We were so out of the way for everybody too.
Yeah, we were close.
The struggles of finding a ride. We would rather walk than take the bus. If you're asking, there's a simple solution, and it's the school bus. We would say that was not an option ever.
I don't think we ever knew what bus to ride if we.
100% no. 100% fuck no. Buses are for peasants.
Anyway, okay, so if the answer to the questions, no, we weren't always close. And I think that was said when I would torment Jess. But when it switched was probably when Kristen went to high school before either of us. And I think everyone can relate that once you're in high school, you're a little bit more developmentally farther along, I guess. So where I was still adolescent, middle school, like not as mature, I guess you could say, I found myself migrating to Jess and Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
She was a neighborhood friend and she would be over every day. So I found my humor in that, whereas Kristen was a little more mature in high school. And
Yeah.
so I think that's when it happened. When I was in middle school, Jess was probably in fifth or sixth grade. And then we started doing the same sports.
Yeah,
So
I was going to say that
gymnastics and then cheerleading.
So all of that was just aligned. And then it was just like game over from there.
And then Jess came into high school and we were on the same cheer team for 2 years. So.
Right.
And then we all had the same friends and yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, it was the rest is history. But then my sister, Kristen, moved to go.
Also, right. Halfway through my high school,
she
graduated
went to college
and went out of state to college
in Virginia, which was pretty
Right.
far. So it was like, that was hard to like connect with her. And like, nobody was on a phone call basis at that point.
Right.
Texting was brand new.
And it costs hella money.
Yeah.
Also, I heard hella is like out of style.
What is?
Hella?
Oh, I'm embarrassed then.
Me too, because I use it a bit thinking I'm hip.
Britt and I had that conversation where like, we are just getting old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm hanging on for dear life to be relevant and to be in the know. And Britt's like, I've like given up. She's like, I have no idea.
I've just come to the realization with certain like pop culture things that I'm out.
Like you just don't know. Yeah.
I'm out.
I've tapped.
And it's not that I don't know, it's that I can't relate.
Yeah. Can't relate. Okay, let's.
What else you got?
Yeah, I love this one. And it is. Now I lost it. Classic. Broken. Any good stories about getting caught doing something as a teenager?
Huh?
We've been caught doing many things.
I know mine.
We've talked about on the pod a few times about the parties, the Project X parties we've had
at Dad's house.
at Kyobs' house.
Kyobs, excuse me.
Now they know, so we can talk in the lingo they understand. But I mean, the pivotal point for me, or the biggest story, is the one Britt remembers. I think it's the same one. Is that I lied to Kyobs and told.
We each have one.
Yeah.
I have one where I was caught, and you have one where you were caught.
Yeah. This is me being caught.
These aren't. We weren't both caught. So yes. Okay, go on. Continue.
Yeah. Not caught doing the same thing. No.
Yes.
I told Kyobs I was staying the night at Liz's.
Wait, let me set the scene here. Jess was like, "Yeah, I'm having a sleepover." End of story. It was short and sweet. Dad and I think we went to like Longhorn.
His name's Kyobs.
Kyobs and I went to Longhorn, and I think maybe we went to a movie because Dad and I like to see Kyobs and I like to see movies.
You guys did. You guys probably had a little date night.
So I think we went out and we're coming home, and Dad just drives by Jess's friend Liz's house, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, your sister's supposed to be here. And this is a very key Dad thing. He does not use names when he's
angry. It's your sister.
Your sister, your mother,
your
aunt, your whoever. It doesn't matter.
Never addressed by name.
It's your title.
He who must not be named.
So, yeah, your sister's supposed to be here. And I'm like, okay. And so he's like, I'm going to call her. And so Jess doesn't answer the phone. So it's a Friday night, and I'm like sitting in this passenger side of this Vans by Doran, like big,
shut up.
If you know, in the 90s, these big vacationer vans, whatever. So I have a flip phone at the time, I'm pretty sure. So he calls her probably 3 times, and she's not answering. And this friend's house looks dark, like not many people are home. So he texts her and is like, where are you at? And she's like, I'm at Liz's. And he's like, come outside.
Never, ever do you want to hear those words, because I was 100% not at Liz's, and I was 100% in Columbus, Ohio, which is 2 hours.
So I get
2 hours south.
My phone's buzzing, and I see it's Jess.
I'm
and
like, what the fuck?
It says, Britt, I'm in Columbus.
I'm like, yo,
and
you
so
gotta cover for me.
If you're on the YouTube, okay, you'll see. I'm sitting in the van. Let me move this beer. I'm sitting in the van, and I'm like, trying to look out this window because Liz's house is on the passenger side and Dad's just got the car in park, and I have my flip phone. I'm like, bing. And I see this text, and I go.
She's like texting to the side of her, like underneath the seat.
Literally underneath. It's like my arm is straight, so it just looks like I'm relaxed. It's hidden
like
on my thigh.
I guarantee he knows I'm texting you.
100%. And I said, Jess, I don't care where you are. I was like,
you're like, I am sitting here. He's going to go to another friend's house. Like, you have to respond. I was like, no. At this point, I know it's over.
We're going to be all over Brunswick. If
I know it's over at this point.
So I said, just either respond in a text.
But you know what we do?
Or call and say, you got me. I'm in Columbus.
You
but
know
everything
what we
is okay.
did as divorced kids in times of troubles?
We called the other
Contact the other parent. And that's exactly.
Totally played the system with that one.
Exactly what I did. So I called Moonmeyer and I was like, Mom, what do I do? How do I get out of this? I'm in Columbus. I lied. I'm caught in a freaking lie. She's like, you know what? There's no way out of this. You just have to call him and tell him.
You just have to be
So
honest.
I finished the Natty Light that I was holding in this college home.
And I'm pretty sure, let's just set the scene here.
We had a baby. We had a baby on board. On this trip. I went with a group of friends, and we were in high school. This is our senior year at high school, and this was
home ec class.
This was home ec or whatever people call it now. I'm not really sure, where they give you the baby, the doll that when it cries, you have to put a key in its back, and that's how you're graded. We had a baby on board, 100%, and.
At the trap house?
Were there pictures at the trap house? And were there pictures taken of the baby with the roach in his mouth? 100%. Okay, this is the kind of people we were. I'm not proud of it. We're not proud of it. Shout out, Kristen.
Got an A on that. I'm sure
you got an A. Okay, that baby is cultured.
Hey,
that baby is woke.
She's ready for motherhood.
This is a long story short. I called my dad. I reached rock bottom, and I was like, I am absolutely caught in this lie. I am in Columbus. All he said was, okay.
Yeah. This is the worst response you can get to. The worst.
Okay. That same night, my boyfriend broke up with me because I think I lied to him too. I really thought I can just get away with this. I think everyone just keeping tabs on me. Anyway, it was a pivotal moment in my life. Like, I really learned a lot from that. Like, just like owning up to your shit. And
I thought Dad and I were having a great date night.
And then the eyebrows were digging graves. We won't get into that because there's no Kiab slander on this pod.
No, Kiabs is Kiabs.
Okay, let's talk about yours.
Mine was just, it's simple. I would throw the Project X parties when Dad was out of town. And one time he showed up at Mom's house, knocked on the door with a grocery bag of
empty beer bottles.
Empty beer cans.
Bottles. We were bougie enough in high school to drink bottles.
Those cans. That, I'm probably not on the screen. Someone stupid hid them in a bush in my front yard.
Good one.
Like, what are you doing?
You know this is not allowed. You know this is Kiab's lair, and he knows every inch of it.
So, just to explain the lengths we would go to, I don't know if you mentioned this, but we would take pictures of how the house looked before the party.
So that we could absolutely replicate.
Down to, like, where the blinds were on the window, whether they were open or closed, and how far retracted they were.
I'm talking, that's smart. I'm
good.
Sorry.
We were good. But, yeah, someone just was, like, fist in to a bush with an empty beer can. And there was, like, 7 or 8 of them. So Dad brought him to the house, and I think he threw him in the front door. And I ran upstairs. And Mom goes, hello?
Hello.
Hello. So I finally came downstairs and was like, I don't know who did that. Because at the time, I had no idea.
Ran. You're like,
I ran.
You won't come in this house.
No, he wouldn't step foot. So, like, I knew my safe spot. But, yeah, I don't know. Mom, I guess, had to be the mediator. And she was like, listen, you can talk to her when she's back to your house.
You can punish her when she's on your time.
Yeah.
God. Worst parents.
But that was the only time I ever got caught.
Really? We got caught because there was a snowstorm.
Idiots.
Best story I have is Michelle and I.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best.
You guys ran.
But we were so drunk.
Hammered.
And I was laughing. I mean, there was snow up to our hips. There was snow up to our hips.
It's funny.
And Mom's like, okay, if you're at Michelle's, call me from Michelle's. She lived 2 houses down, but there's some big yards. And
this is, okay, landlines were a thing.
They were 100% a thing. And that's all we had. So she's like, call me from Michelle's house phone. And I was like, okay. I look at Michelle. I give her a look. No words were exchanged. It was just the assignment was 100% understood. She knew because I gave her a look of panic. And she's like, okay, let's go. We are booking it to our house. This is probably one of my favorite memories of Michelle.
Two houses down, these lots are
it's
1.5 acres.
It's a block. It's a block.
It's a serious block.
But that was fun. But we did not get caught for that. My mom was always trying to catch us because she knew that we were having parties at Dad's. But
also, we weren't threatened by Mom. Sorry, Mom.
We love you.
Dad, that's another story. Okay.
Next. What about any other? These are kind of all similar. So what about, I mean, just like think about stories. I think one thing comes to mind when I think about like our childhood or I think about adolescent years. And that is 100% dances. Music was a huge big deal, right? Back in the time. Still is. Not that it's like ever gone out. But dances. Yeah. We started at the Zoin.
We did not start at the Zoin. We took dance lessons.
Oh, yeah. Well, but you know what I mean? The Zone. And then I was thinking about this. And
the Zone is a rec center dance party that happens.
If your local rec center held this, shame. Because there were thongs pulled up over the low-rise jeans.
Yeah.
There was
Maddie and Degrassi.
We were Maddie.
Is her name Maddie?
Yeah.
Or am I saying that from Euphoria?
Am I getting
remind
confused?
Me of each other.
It's not Maddie. Fuck.
Her name is Cassie in real life, the actor.
Okay, while I look this up, it's not Maddie. You're thinking.
I know. That's because they have the same energy.
No, but it really is. Degrassi walked so Euphoria could run.
Oh, 100%.
And that's facts. No, but just the sheer grinding happening.
Oh, man.
What the fuck? What the fuck was even that?
We were too young.
Manny, her name was.
How close? It was close. Manny.
Shout out Manny with the thong scene.
Man,
never
really
forget.
Risked it all.
She truly did.
In the halls of Degrassi.
She really did. Anywho, grinding. I think about this, and I really think about grinding. We had a dance marathon where we danced all night in Sophie shorts and oversized tees, rolled up
with permanent marker signatures on it.
Ugh. But we really, first off, and the only I'm like, I have PTSD from dance marathon because I had butt cancer and it popped at dance marathon. Okay, long story short, guys, this is super embarrassing, but I'm putting myself out here. I had an infected ingrown hair at the top of my butt crack. And I told all my friends, I was saying goodbye to all of them because I was saying my farewells. I was digging my own grave because I'm like, I have butt cancer. Ask all my friends. They're probably cracking up right now because they know because I showed them. I'm like, I'm just going to flash it to you real quick. It was why did I get an ingrown hair at the top of my butt crack? I'll never know. Anyways, I told all my friends I had butt cancer, found out it was an infected ingrown hair, and we went to the doctor. Asked my mom this story. She knows it too. We go to the doctor, and he's like, I pulled down my pants. Nothing worse than this. Pulling down just for him to see it. He's like, whoa. I'll never forget a doctor. Why would you ever say that? A male doctor being like, whoa. I'm like, why? Because his ass is so fat and juicy? No, because I have a gross boil at the top of my butt crack. Okay.
Right on the damn top.
It was so bad. And I was wearing Sophie shorts at the dance marathon, and he's like, hey, you put some hot compresses on this. It has to pop on its own. He's like, we can't pop it right now. It's not ready. It's not ready.
To give you a visual, it just looked like a giant blister.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, if you've had an infected ingrown hair, it's no, but like mine was really infected. Like honestly, probably the size of like a nickel.
At least.
Yeah. Geez, right? Jeez.
I feel like it was longer than it was wide.
Okay. Well, I only could see it from a mirror point of view. So, anyways, it decides to pop. It decides to pop a dance marathon, and
because she was grinding on someone's dude.
Yeah, because I was grinding, and that friction caused it to pop. That is terrible. And I'm like, I think I called Michelle, so I'm like, ready to go home. I'm ready to go home, 100%. Because I think you're supposed to dance all night, and I was like, I'm just tired.
You're getting two things confused. Dance marathon wasn't all day.
It was all night.
Rockathon.
No, dance marathon is all night from, yeah.
I remember it differently.
No, it's
dance
all
marathon
night.
was a full day of school. We had sleepovers the night before.
I feel like ours was all night. I don't know. Maybe I am getting confused.
Rockathon was something that we did where you sat in a rocking chair all night.
Oh, we never did that.
Oh,
that was Willits.
Willits. Shout out.
Big shout out there.
Hey, and I promised someone I'd give a shout out. So speaking of the Willits crew, Sam
Coots,
Coots, where are you
Sam,
at?
That's not her that's not her name anymore.
No, it's not. I can't think of her married name.
Sorry, we don't know your maiden
Hey,
name.
she's on baby number 3 though.
Shout out.
I know.
Sam, this one's for you.
That's right. Love your fam.
Love your fam. But anyways, yeah, I went home. The boil was popped. The jig was up. And I was down bad. I was down bad. And that's the story of Dance Marathon. But anyways, what I was saying is just grinding. Our teachers were our chaperones. So being just primal as fuck in the gym, just grinding, sweaty. And then we had to face those teachers.
The next day.
Grinding is so embarrassing. It was so funny. We just went to a wedding. We were in Charleston. We were at the wedding and we were dancing. And it was so funny because Jeremy, who is Gen Z, Joe's younger brother, my brother-in-law, he was like, I saw people grinding. And I'm like, that's so funny that's disgusting to you.
Yeah, even you're removed from that.
I mean, he
quickly.
admitted to doing like in high school. He's like, that
Yeah.
was so embarrassing. But he's like, but now it's like 100% fuck no.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, what do we do? I feel like we're are we just saying the words in each other's faces and screaming them? Is that how we're dancing now? Because if you think about how we do, I think we just dance to ourselves. But like,
I
how
don't
do we
know.
dance with other people to rap music? I feel
For
like I'm
me,
lost.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know how to do.
We literally
you're very
just
much
to
with
ourselves.
yourself. You're
To
very
yourself,
much.
just throwing that finger up, like, hey, hey.
And then at some point you cross a line and it becomes silly, right?
Yeah.
Like you always, if someone looks at you, you're like,
You have to do something embarrassing before they actually think you're serious.
Or
you don't want them to think
yes. Or
you don't want them to think that you
Weekend at Bernie's.
You don't want them to think that you think you're hot. Because
Yeah.
you can't be caught
out
slipping
there-
like that.
No, you can't be out there sexual. But
Because that is
also
embarrassing.
you flip it on them and you're like, do the gritty. Like we did that.
Where you will just turn it to them like, hey.
You pull out your phone and you're like, let me see it.
Yeah. It's a hard time. So if you guys understand the struggle
Of adult dancing.
because we have yet to narrow it, because it's grinding, and now what is it?
But also we had the most fun dancing at that wedding.
Oh, we had a blast. It was so fun. I have like really good videos from people of the family dancing that I literally laugh out loud to. But I think that wraps it, Britt.
Hey, I could go on forever.
I know. I was like, I really could talk for 2 hours about childhood stories. But
I feel like we didn't even really do that, but we're just
I know.
bullshitting. But I love that too.
Okay. I know. Is there anything missed? Any stories that we just didn't tell?
If we're going to go back to dancing and how it was impactful for us, I'll talk about one skit that we spent a solid amount of time on.
And it goes by the name of Corkus Romanus.
No. This is not rehearsed by any means.
No,
we
guys,
just know.
we just are two in tune. And
And
guys,
it goes along the lines of the cancer too.
why?
Not the butt cancer. This was a different. I don't really know. But it was.
I guess the movies we were watching were just.
I never saw that.
Well, that's why we made an original. Okay, that's why we were so creative.
Backing up, this was around the time that Corky Romano was a movie.
But we were not old enough to watch, and we never had seen.
No.
But it was. I guess we ingested a lot of TV with a lot of.
But we knew
commercials,
the humor, because this humor at the time was like Adam Sandler humor, right?
Stupid.
Yeah, stupid. It was like
dry.
Who's the guy in the hot chick? Rob
Schneider.
Thank you. So it was like that kind of humor.
But that's not the lead. I can't remember who the lead is. I know who it is.
No, I can picture him, but I don't know his name.
Anyways, we decided to put on a skit. And we did a lot of that.
Do you know what? We didn't decide to put on a skit. We just went in the basement and we started a song, Corkus
Romanus. He's the one you'll see.
This is 25 years old, you guys. You don't even know.
It is bad.
But I don't know why we started singing this. But then we kept.
I know the choreography.
We kept in character, and there was a feather duster involved, And that was how you cured the cancer. That was like the radiation.
No, I thought that he was a cleaner. He was a house cleaner, and then he kept to his leg like, and then we were cued in like, hey, what's going on? That was like us to inquire about the cancer, and that's how we found out.
Okay, yeah.
He was a house cleaner.
Misconstrued this.
We just had props
in the
and
years past.
we did put on a lot of shows,
But
though.
we kept at this for hours.
It was our best skit yet. And
It was a musical.
It was a full production.
It was a full musical.
It was a full 2 hours start to
Corkus
finish.
Romanus was the reprise. Is that what it's called in a
Yeah.
musical?
But at the end, we really
Yes, Romanus. It was very Broadway.
it was, which is true, which is on brand for us.
Oh
So
my God.
that was a good one. Oh God.
But hey, that's how I'm rapping.
And
it.
that's showbiz, baby.
That's showbiz, baby.
All right. Thank you, Britt, for being here.
Hey, no, you're here.
Yeah, no, thanks for agreeing to be on a pod. Thanks for a sisters episode. Thanks for the laughs.
Bringing the mics to Salt Lake.
It wasn't hard. I can tell you that.
I've been practicing my outro,
Okay.
so I'll kick it off. This is Britt,
And this is Jess
and that's
for Better and Worse Podcast.
Peace out, y'all.
And we out.